So hello everyone, and welcome back to Sakura Unboxing. So in today's video, I'll be going over my May 2024 figure and merch haul. There's a whole bunch of items to go through, so it's a pretty hefty month. So let's just jump right into it. So without further ado, let us get started. So going into my pickups for the month, it's definitely a lot. So we have a total of 4 merch items, 1 Nendoroid doll, and 8 scale figures. But first, let us get started with the merch pickups. And the first one I have right here is this very adorable MIKU clear file. On this side we have the one that has like a Nendoroid and also a scale figure. Very cute. I like the different expressions that she has on here. And then on the back, which I didn't know they had this MIKU design, a sort of black cat version, I guess. Very cute. I really like this one with the pink, the black, and the pops of gold in the design. Interested to see if they'll make this version of MIKU into a figure. I would personally not be opposed to it because I really like the design for her as well. After that, we have yet another Master of Diabolism acrylic standee, the very big ones, of course. And this is the Yue Long Yin version. I probably butchered that name. But yeah, very gorgeous. I really like, again, these 2 handsome long-haired boys, and just the artwork on these standees are fantastic. So yes, another one to add to my growing standee collection of this series. And then going into the last 2 merch items, we have these very adorable Nendoroid doll PJ Kigurumi sets. So this is of course of Bay and River characters from the Fluffyland series of figures. Absolutely adorable. I mean, again, I am no furry, but the merch that comes out for these guys is so cute, and again, I like collecting Nendoroid doll clothing. I did take these out of the packaging to show in some B-roll. They're super soft, super nice. I really love the details, like with, you know, the eyes, how they're sewn. It's a very nice sort of shiny thread that they used, and so cute. On my copy of the Bay pajamas, there was a little bit of excess like fur that was like sticking out, and some like thread that was sticking out, so I did kind of cut it a little bit to, you know, not have that be shown. But yeah, these are very cute, and there are more of these on the way, which I did pre-order, of course, so yeah. I'm excited to have these very cute little animal-themed pajamas for some Nendoroid dolls. So jumping into one of many figures, the first one I have right here is the Spice and Wolf Hollow Nendoroid doll, who looks absolutely adorable. I picked this up for just cuteness factor. I tend not to get Nendoroid dolls of, you know, anime or manga characters. I tend to go for original characters for Nendoroid dolls, but I thought she looked absolutely adorable, so I want to pick her up, and I really think that she's very cute. I really like the outfit, the fluffy parts of it, and the craftsmanship once again on the fabric and the sewing is very well done. I do like how the tail is also fluffy instead of the plastic tail that's like on the Nendoroid. And I do like the head sculpt with the way that they did her hair, and the ears, of course, very well done. The faceplate is a little bit closer, I guess, to the newer anime version of Hollow. And I do at this point have the Nendoroid itself, so it's nice to have that sort of just custom ability with the Nendoroid doll for, you know, more posability and such. And then a quick little story about this Nendoroid, because I actually won a raffle thanks to her. So AmiAmi was doing this sort of event, I guess, where you take a picture of a figure where they sort of cut out. I might show on screen what I'm talking about. And then you post it on Twitter, and then you use a hashtag, and then you are put into a raffle to win 10,000 AmiAmi points. I think they selected 10 winners, and I somehow won this raffle. Like, I was just ecstatic because, again, it's gonna help me in the long run with, you know, paying for shipping and such, or just some figures in general. So yeah, I got very lucky. I'm glad I, you know, took the time to do the raffle. So yeah, this little cutie helped me win the raffle. Somehow the luck was on my side. And yeah, Again, very cute. I recommend picking her up if you are a Spice and Wolf fan or if you're a Nendoroid doll collector. And now we're jumping into this very tiny, very adorable figure, and this is the Palette Uchi no Neko ga Ononoko de Kawaii dress-up collection, present Kinako by Golden Head Plus. So yeah, very tiny. It's pretty much palm size, this figure. So before I get into more about the figure, it did come with, of course, a little bonus. And that is, of course, the little acrylic charm with the original illustration on it. Again, I like rearing these figures just because I get these cute little bonuses. So yeah, very cute. So going into the figure herself, I think that the sculpt work is pretty well done. Nothing too rough around the edges. Hair is very well done. The tail looks quite nice. It gives off that sort of fur look. Her eyes, I do like the bright and vibrant green that she has, and the placement of them are pretty well done. You know, especially for a small figure like this. One sort of thing though with this line is there's really not a lot of shading, if any at all. Again, it's a cheaper quote-unquote figure, so they won't really do too much of that. Also, I guess on my copy, or it could be all the copies, is that there are some little seam lines, especially on the front of the little fluffy parts of her outfit, so that's a little bit, you know, maybe to be expected from, again, a cheaper figure. So another thing that this figure came with is the box. So yeah, it's a box, so you can just store stuff in it, which I think is nice. Has some utility. Also, I guess the top part of it does have Kinako's name on it, along with this other detail on there, which I think looks pretty nice and makes it look a little bit more fancy. But it's just one flat color, and then it also comes with this bow with this sort of gold lining to it, which was a little bit tricky for me to kind of tie to make it look like the promo photos. So yeah, you just put her right on top, and I think it looks very, very cute. So yeah, again, I feel like this line of figures is just a little bit too expensive. I mean, at least for Kinako, because she is a small character. Again, these roughly retail for $60. So I wish that they were, again, cheaper. So I'd probably wait till these guys go on pre-owned before you pick them up. But yeah, again, though, very cute looking Kinako figure. Now moving on to this very adorable sweet theme figure, we have the Toho Project Cerno Summer Frost version 1/7 scale figure by SWALLOWTAIL. So this is my first figure from them, and honestly, I am quite impressed with the figure overall in terms of, you know, quality and such. Before I get into any more details though, I will show off the little bonuses that it came with. So going into the bonuses that this came with, if you did order these off of the Good Smile online shop, first we have the acrylic standee with this sort of hollow foil pattern to it. Very cute little chibi illustration of the character. And then the other one is sort of a authentication card, I guess, with the original illustration on it. Doesn't say like a number or anything, like what copy I got out of how many, but yeah. Very cute little bonuses. So yeah, I think SWALLOWTAIL, they tend to do this where they throw in like an acrylic charm or standee of the character, and they throw in these little cards as well. So very interesting, but you know, nice to get some bonuses with the figure. So then going into the figure herself, I think she looks absolutely adorable. I think the sculpt work is very well done on this figure, like on her outfit and especially her hair. And even the bow on the back, I like the sort of, you know, folds that they gave it. And then of course, like one of my favorite parts is definitely the transparent parts. So her wings and of course the little other icy effect parts going around her. I do like the, you know, clear and then the blue shading on those. Her skin, by the way, is like that sort of matte, feely texture that they, you know, put on some figures for that kind of finish. Her cheeks are definitely a little bit chubby. It's kind of cute. I don't think it looks too, like, off or anything. And the eyes, I think the details are very well done in there as well. And in terms of shading, there are some that's on the little chocolate sticks that are right behind her. And also on her hair, I do like how it's a little bit lighter in the center, and then as you go to the top, it gets a little bit darker, and as you go down from the middle, it's also a little bit darker. And yeah, The little watermelon ice cream I think is cute. It does have a slight little glossy finish. At least with the seeds, I do feel like they're slightly messy. Like they kind of just like boop, a little bit of paint. But one of them, it is kind of like off to the side a little bit, so maybe it could have been a little bit cleaner, but I don't think it's awful in my opinion. And yeah, the ice cream has a nice sort of shiny, glossy finish to it. Maybe, again, I wish there was some, like, darker shading, like maybe a darker beige to it to, you know, give it some more depth. But yeah, she also has this little frog that she's kind of trapping, which is very cute, and interesting little pop of green to the figure. So also with the little waffle cone, I do wish that that had more shading as well. Maybe around like the edges of it, there's some slight darker shading, but you know, I wish there was maybe a little bit more. I think that would have been nice. But other than that, I'm not too upset with this figure. I do, you know, just really like the look of her overall. And yeah, just another very cute, sweet theme figure to add to my collection. And now going into this very cute little cat girl right here, which is the original Tea Time series, number 3, the Cow Cat by Ribos, one of my favorite figure manufacturers, and of course, a character design based off an illustration by Star Shadow Magician, a top tier artist. Yes, of course I had to pick this up. I am collecting this line of figures, and again, I really like Ribos's quality and prices for their figures, and she is no exception. Again, just her face is so cute. I really like the outfit as well. Very nice sculpt work on there. The nice little pops of blue as well. Kind of got a little bit of a, sailor theme to her. So yeah, I adore her so much. This also came with some other little accessories that, you know, definitely make this figure pretty amazing for the price point. And that is, of course, this absolutely stunning teapot that's made of, I guess it's ceramic or glass, I'm not too sure, but it is freaking amazing. I really love the gold chrome on here, the little castle details on here. I feel like you could technically use this as a teapot. I am not going to, of course. But yeah, it's just super cute, super gorgeous and well done. I do have the lid, it's on my shelf because I display her in the cup. It is a little bit finicky though with just putting her in. They do give you this extra little like cube with 2 little paw prints on there where you kind of just put her feet on and you kind of have to balance her a little bit. So if you knock into your shelf with the figure on it and she's in this cup, she's definitely going to tip over, which I do think is kind of annoying. And it also did come with another little stand where if you don't want to display her in the pot, you can, you know, use that and just display her, you know, on top of the cube. And then also another little tiny, like one little sort of stand thing for her foot to fit in. I don't know, they give you multiple options to have her stand. But I like her in the teapot. It is adorable. I absolutely adore this figure. And this was only 8,460 yen. I'm not too sure how much that is in USD, because unfortunately AmiAmi took the listing down for this figure, but I'll show up on screen, which makes this figure just absolutely amazing for that price tag. It's definitely a lot of value. And I think the box is very well done. So the little teapot itself did come packaged in, you know, styrofoam, which I think is very nice, or sort of like foam material to protect it, which I think, you know, very smart, of course, because this is a very fragile material. But yeah, I just love this series so much. Again, I love Ribos as a manufacturer. So yeah, this series I highly recommend. They're so adorable and so fantastic for the price point. And I did see that the next one in this line, the Lemon Cat, is going to be going up for pre-order soon. Still, you know, it's pretty much the same design in terms of sculpt and such as the Cow Cat, but the color is different, and I think she has some lemon details on her outfit. Plus the teapot is a sort of, you know, clear glass one. I'll still be picking that one up. Again, I love this series so much, so yes. Highly recommend this figure. Again, very inexpensive, also won't take up too much space, and you're getting such great, like, quality items for the price point. So going into yet another Pokemon figure, again from the Artifacts J line, which is the Dawn with Piplup 1/8 scale figure by Kotobukiya. A much needed re-release because she was quite pricey in the aftermarket, so I jumped on, you know, the re-release, of course, and I think she looks fantastic. I do like the pose that she has and the way the scarf is just flowing out. Again, with these Pokemon figures by Kotobukiya, the nice thing is that the trainer is already like screwed onto the base, which is nice, and then you just kind of have to put the Pokemon wherever. So yeah, Dawn looks, again, very nice. Might be one of my favorite trainer designs, and I feel like when I was playing she looked the most like me when I first played Gen 4. And yeah, the sculpt and the folds on her outfit are very well done. And I feel like maybe there's just not too much shading. Again, where I'm sitting, it is quite dark. But I feel like the sculpt work just makes up for it. And again, these Pokemon figures do not take up a lot of space, which is nice. So then, of course, going into Piplup being absolutely adorable. Very cute. The eyes are very well printed on. Really nice paint. I mean, there isn't really any shading on him, but I think that the paintwork is pretty clean. And then the little transparent bubbles is a nice little touch to the figure. Although there is kind of like a plastic little seam line going around it. I guess they kind of just connected them together, which, you know, I kind of wish it wasn't there. But very cute. So yeah, I was quite surprised that Piplup wasn't my starter for Gen 4. I just gravitated towards Turtwig. I don't know, I just love that little dopey turtle, but I think Piplup looks absolutely adorable here as well. So of course, I'm very happy for the re-release. I'm not too sure how much aftermarket-wise she is now after this re-release. I feel like it might be the same. But yeah, very happy to have picked her up for that retail price. So going into this massive, kind of hefty figure right here, we have the Pokemon Iono and Bellibolt figure by Kotobukiya. I'm not too sure of the scale, like on my figure collection it doesn't say, like I thought she was maybe 1/7. I'm not too sure. But yes, Iono being one of my favorite gym leaders from Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet. I love her design so much. And I guess quick little story about this one. When she first went up for pre-order, they had her uncolored, like a prototype, at least on Nindin Game. I'm not too sure if there was anywhere else, and I was contemplating, but again, I wish that they would have just showed off her fully colored. I don't know why they did that. And then the pre-orders on Nindin Game closed, and you know, I was like, oh no, I do kind of want to pick her up. And then I basically went to Zen Market to pre-order her. So I did like straight off the Pokemon Center website, and yeah, that's how I managed to get this figure. So I also thought I'd show off the little other thing that came with this figure when I ordered her off of Zen Market, which is this very cute little keychain of their mascot. I was kind of surprised when I got this. But yeah, very cute little design. I love the little box head with the blushing. So cute. So very nice little bonus I was surprised to get with my Zen Market order. So now going into Iono herself. So with the assembly, Bellibolt, he's already on the base. He is a hefty boy, like he is very heavy. I'm not too sure what he's made of, but I just be careful about that when taking him out of the box. And then Iono herself, you just simply put the foot in, you know, the base, and then her hairpiece on Bellibolt's head. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward in terms of the assembly. And I just really like the energy in this figure. Like Iono's pose, so energetic, very cute. I like the different finishes on here, and the paintwork is pretty clean overall. I like the very silvery leggings and I guess like top that she has if you look under her very massive jacket with these large bell sleeves. And yeah, very nice glossy finish in some areas, like the little screws on her shoes and the little magnemites on her head. And yeah, in terms of shading, there might be some in some areas, like on her hair, but I do feel like maybe it's a little bit flat, especially for a figure of this price, which I'll get into in a bit. And then Bellibolt, looking absolutely adorable. Just, you know, he's just chill. And I do like how his like chest piece is also, you know, has like a transparent dome to it. And yeah, and the base of course is her logo. Now, this figure, I pre-ordered because I was worried about maybe the aftermarket on her, because I feel like Iono is one of the more popular characters from Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, that just kind of worried me a little bit, so that's why I pre-ordered her. And unfortunately, this is a figure that did go down in the aftermarket quite a bit. I think on AmiAmi she might be 16,000 yen, and again, this was about 27,000 yen retail, which honestly I don't really think is worth that price whatsoever. So yeah, I still love her. Again, I love the pose, the energy, I love her character design, but again, I probably should have waited for the aftermarket. I was just not expecting her to just drop like that. So I'm still happy to have picked up Iono. I think that they did a fantastic job on her. So very cute. I love her so much. So yeah, hopefully you can get her for that very nice aftermarket price, because I think she is definitely worth it for that. And now we're going into this figure right here, which I'm kind of holding a little bit weird. But this is the Short Break of Anubis, illustrated by Niji Komiya 1/7 scale figure by Freewill Studio, which I believe is their first ever figure release. So yes, this figure was definitely quite the gamble to pre-order, because I do not know anything about the manufacturer and the fact that this is their first release. But I feel like the promo photos just sold me on picking her up, plus the original retail price of her for like $120, I was like, man, for a 1/7, I feel like that's pretty nice, so that's why I pre-ordered her. So before I get into the figure, of course, she did come with some nice little bonuses. And the first one we have right here is, of course, a postcard with the original illustration on it. Very stunning artwork. She just looks so beautiful, along with her little Anubis companion. So yes, always nice to get these with the original illustration in any way, shape, or form. And the second one that surprised me that, I didn't see listed, but, came with the figure anyway, it was this little bonus button, again, of the original illustration, and it has some nice little glittery details on there. So this was an apology button, because the figure got delayed a few times. I think she was originally supposed to release in February of 2024. So yeah, I just was surprised. I thought that was just very thoughtful of them to do. So yeah, just a nice little extra bonus as sort of an apology for delaying the figure a few times. Now going into the figure herself, so first, in terms of assembly, it's very, very easy. She comes with this like fabric carpet that you kind of put her on top, just so nothing on the bottom scrapes. And then really the only thing you have to do is just put this sort of staff that she has through her hand, and that's really about it. And then she has her sort of Anubis jackal companion that you kind of just put wherever. And yeah, very simple and straightforward, and this figure is absolutely amazing. For their first ever release of a figure, they really went all out with her. The body sculpt is so well done. The fabric as well, with the wrinkles and folds. Her hair sculpt, just the individual strands and just the way everything kind of just drapes, looks very nice. And yeah, just in the back especially, the way it just goes onto, the ground, the way it just looks also good. The paint job as well and the shading is very well done. I really like the pops of blue and gold on here. Also the little sort of transparent like gem pieces on here look very nice. And yeah, the gold even has some slight variance in shading, like it's a little bit more bronzy in some areas, and then it goes to like more of your traditional gold. And her eyes, there's just so much detail in there. They're just so striking and gorgeous. I absolutely love her so much. And yeah, really no messy paint or any paint bleeding in areas. It's just so well done. However, I'm just noticing this now on my copy. I don't think this happened before. Unfortunately, it looked like one of the strands of hair kind of broke off a little bit. They are kind of thin in some areas, so that's a little bit unfortunate. And it's in a very little awkward spot. I'll see if I can maybe fix that up somewhere down the line if it's not too impossible. So then going into her little jackal companion, he doesn't really have too much shading because he's just like black. So it's like there might not be too much you can do. But sculpt wise, I think he's fantastic. I like of course, the gold collar that he has. His eyes, they do kind of stare into your soul a bit. But yeah, I think he looks very nice as well. So then I'm also going to go into the aftermarket because I'm glad I pre-ordered this figure because she has gone up quite a bit. So on AmiAmi pre-owned, the lowest that she is in B+B condition is 29,680 yen, which is roughly $194.44 USD. So yeah, and then another one is in A/B condition, which is 32,980 yen, so that's closer to $200. So yes, I managed to save some money by pre-ordering this figure. Again, this is just an AmiAmi. I'm not too sure about pricing elsewhere, so you know, if you want to pick this figure up, I definitely recommend looking around because I think she is absolutely worth it for that retail price. I'm interested to see if they'll also make in the future the Bastet that's by the same illustrator. And then the Horus that I did talk about, that's still a garage kit. But yeah, very gorgeous. Highly recommended if you kind of like Egyptian themed figures or, you know, darker skinned character designs. So going into this very stunning figure right here, this is the Blue Archive Kosaka Wakamo 1/7 scale figure by Neon Max. I do have a few figures from them, and I feel like their overall sculpting quality is very well done, and she's absolutely no exception. So yes, I know absolutely nothing about Blue Archive, but when I saw this character design and that it was going to be made into a figure, I'm like, I have to pick her up. I just adore the black, red, and gold color scheme on her, and this just character design, it slays. It just looks so amazing with so much detail to it. So going into assembly, you just first put her on the base, pretty simple. Her little sword part at the end of her gun, it's separate, so you just have to plug it underneath the gun. And then on the back of her head, her little halo, you just sort of plug it into the back. I would be careful just because, again, it is, you know, transparent plastic. It could be a little bit thin, and I was worried about maybe snapping off one of the pieces, which thankfully didn't happen. So now we're going into the figure herself, and I really do not have any complaints with her whatsoever. Like, Neon Max absolutely knocked it out of the park with her in terms of the sculpt work, like on her hair, her tail, her outfit, the way just everything flows. I love her pose. It's like not super dynamic, but like she means business. I love the way that she's kind of holding the gun like over her shoulders. Again, the coloring, like the gold on here, I really like the choice of the color gold that they used on here, along with the reds and the blacks. It's just, oh, I love that color scheme for a character. And with her little halo, I like the way, you know, it's transparent and the gradient on there from the red to a little bit of black where the flower is to like more clear at the tips. Oh my god. And then her gloves, oh, there's just so much. There's so much detail I can go through with this figure. It's just so cool to see in person. And I do like the base as well. It's clear, and then you got this sort of black and little gold specks on there and some heart designs on here. I would probably be careful with displaying this on a shelf though, because, you know, if you move her while dragging her across the shelf, you could scrape the bottom because the design looks like it's just plastered on the bottom. So also, she does come with multiple face plates that you can display her with. Of course, I'll be using the Kitsune mask. I just really love the design of it, but you do have one where you see her actual face, and then one where she kind of has some heart eyes. I don't know the context of why she has that, but it's very cute as well. And yeah, Neon Max, fantastic. I highly recommend picking figures up for them. Some in the aftermarket that I do have from them have went down. However, this one seems to be the one exception. So retail-wise, she was roughly 24,000 yen, which is roughly $160, which I feel like for the level of detail, that's not too bad. But then once the aftermarket hit, again, at least on AmiAmi and some other places I've noticed, she has pretty much doubled in price. So on AmiAmi pre-owned for an A/B condition for this figure, she is 47,980 yen, which is $314.32 USD. That is absolutely insane. And then one with B+B condition is 43,180 yen, which is $282.88 USD. So I'm not too sure if it's because this is a very popular Blue Archive character or just the presence of her, just how she turned out, made her double in price. So yeah, I am happy I pre-ordered her. Considering the aftermarket, again, just this character design really stood out to me. She just has such amazing presence. I'm definitely excited for now her swimsuit figure. I'm interested to see the aftermarket on that one, but yeah. So yeah, she might actually be one of my top favorite figures for 2024. Like, Neon Max, they knocked it out of the park. Again, translating that original character design into a figure. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to have picked her up for retail price considering the aftermarket. But yeah, I'm just super happy to have her in my collection. I hope for anyone who did miss her that they do maybe a re-release of her in the future, because this is absolutely worth it for the retail price. So then moving on to the very last figure I have for the month, which is the Kuro Inu Olga Discordia Wedding White version 1/4 scale figure by Binding. A re-release, recolor of a figure that was quite expensive in the aftermarket. So yes, I do know where this character is from, and yes, I have seen a little bit of it. It is not for the kiddies, so be warned. But yeah, you know, I kind of picked her up because I'm like, she looks stunning, and again, re-release, I like picking up stuff for hopefully retail price. And I just really like the white outfit that she has in contrast to the original. I just like how it looks up against her skin as well. So yes, I did order her off of Akimomo, and she did originally release in September of 2023, but unfortunately I didn't get her until May of 2024 because they take a while with getting their figures in stock and shipped. So yes, in terms of assembly, she does come with her top off, so then you just pick a top of your choice if you want her exposed or if you want it covered up. Same goes for underneath as well. And then the crown is also a separate part, which is magnetic, which is nice, so it just easily goes on her head. So very easy assembly overall. And I think she just looks absolutely stunning. Again, the sculpt work is very well done. I absolutely, again, love the outfit. I love the white pearlescent finish to it, and also just the hints of shading on here. They used purple for it, which looks very nice up against the white. And yeah, hair sculpt is very well done. I like the way it just drapes down around her in the back, and also her bangs. And again, she is pretty thick in some areas. Crown and earrings have very nice gold finishes to them. Thankfully no paint bleeding or anything. So yeah, I'm very happy that I picked up the recolor re-release. I really love the white outfit design. However, this figure did not come with issues. On my figure collection, a lot of people had quality control issues, and I believe also some damage on their figures. Like, I think the earrings could have broken off. And yeah, people had to get replacements, unfortunately. On my copy, at least in some areas, there are some. Thankfully, mine didn't come damaged or anything. First one I did notice is there's this little glue spot on her hair. It is kind of glossy, so you can kind of see it. The other one I feel like is maybe the earrings on mine, at least on the back. I feel like the gold might be coming off, or it's just a little roughly done. I don't mind it too much. It kind of gives it sort of an aged and weathered look, so I don't mind that too much. So the last thing I do want to talk about with this figure in terms of sculpting defects, at least on my copy, this one I kind of found funny, and that is the fact that it's right on her butt, and it's like a very weird indent, and it's shaped like a dick. Thankfully I really won't notice it if it's like not shining in the light, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I kind of found that funny. It doesn't really bother me. It's kind of an interesting little story I have with this figure. So going into the aftermarket for this figure, so starting with the original retail price, so she was roughly 29,700 yen, so about $200. And it looks like the price for her has gone up quite a bit in the aftermarket. On AmiAmi Pre-Owned, I am seeing her for 39,000 yen, which is roughly $260. So yes, quite pricey. I'm not too sure because I'm just looking at the wedding white version if the original version has gone down quite a bit. On Akimomo, I think I paid roughly $260 for it with the shipping, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm happy to have her in my collection. I'm interested to see if they'll re-release the Chloe figure, which is also one that's quite expensive in the aftermarket, and if they'll, you know, recolor that figure, probably. So yeah, very alluring dark elf girl right here. I'm very happy to have picked her up at the end of the day. So going into some other accessories I forgot to mention, first is this mirrored base, which again I don't really use, especially for binding figures that are sitting or kneeling. Just really not necessary, plus it just takes up extra space. And the other one are these water slide decals. These go right near her stomach area. I'm not going to use these because I'm not really that good at applying them, so yeah, there's these little extra accessories as well. So before I do end the video, I do briefly want to talk about Akimomo and what's going on with them right now. Feel free to skip to the outro if you would like to, I don't mind at all, I should say. So yes, Akimomo, I am most likely not going to be pre-ordering for them in the future because of what's going on with them right now. In short, a lot of people have been complaining that they've been waiting on figures for over a year to get, and their customer service has not been the greatest. It does take about a week for them to respond, and when they do, they don't really give you a great update on where exactly a figure is at. They say, oh, we'll just, you know, we'll pass it along, you know, we'll give you an update as soon as you can, and then it's a month later and there's still nothing. And a lot of people have been asking for refunds at this point because they don't want to wait a whole year for a figure. And me too, because I have one figure I still have not received and it's been over a year, and that is the Kanon Manonji 1/6 scale figure by Rocket Boy, which at this point I don't even want the figure anymore. So I am hoping to get a refund from them, and I did mention a not so nice way because at this point I've just been going in circles with them that I would like a refund on the figure and my other deposits as well, because I still have some figures that I ordered that at this point I just want to get the money back and then buy them somewhere else. So yeah, it's still been about like 2 weeks since, you know, I sent that message. And I'm getting a little bit annoyed. I'm gonna probably push again because at this point, it's really like not acceptable that they're doing this. That they're just being a little bit dismissive with people and, you know, their money, because, you know, it's a lot of money being spent. So yeah, I'm hoping to hear an answer from them. But I highly would recommend skipping Akimomo for the time being until they get everything together in terms of getting their figures in stock in a relatively quickly manner. I know they do it by boat to save some money, but waiting over a year and not getting a clear answer on where something at is unacceptable in my opinion. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out for those who shop on Akimomo, because I did mention in the past that I recommend them, you know, if you want to get 18 plus figures on there and use PayPal. I just cannot recommend them at this point because of just the business practices and just the long waits that people are having right now. So that's gonna go ahead and conclude this video. Definitely a pretty hefty haul. I'm very happy with a bunch of the figures I picked up, and for once, with at least some of them, I managed to save some money and did not have to face the wrath of the aftermarket for once in this figure collecting journey. So yes, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you would like to, of course, feel free to take the time to subscribe to my channel to see what other figure and merch related shenanigans I get into next. So I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and take it easy. Goodbye.